what's up, guys? I know I'm not probably going to get any extra points for my dancing skills. All right, so any points that I may not get for my awesome dancing, hopefully I can make up for with some awesome cooking. Today, we're going far east to a little country known as Japan. We've all had ramen before. You know, you might have bought it from the store. Maybe you went to a restaurant that serves it. But have you ever made it on your own? Well, that's what we're going to do today. This is what Big Head is using to get down today on his ramen. But look, if you want to spice up a little bit and throw your own twist into it, get down in your own way. All right, guys, we're going to keep our seasonings very simple. We're just going to use salt, pepper, and garlic. You know, we use the KISS method in this kitchen. Keep it simple, smarty pants. Flip it over. You do the same thing on the opposite side, okay? Our pan is on a medium high. A little bit of oil. We're going to go ahead and place our meat. Okay, now that that's seared pretty good, add a little bit of rice on it. You just need a little bit to just deglaze your pan. You got a good little stir. So to my understanding, traditional ramen normally takes hours and hours to develop the flavor. So we're gonna put this in a pot and we're gonna do this for maybe about 5 hours, okay? And now we're gonna take our chicken and we're gonna add it into our pan, to our crock pot. We're gonna add some seafood stock. I'm gonna cover this. I'm gonna leave it on high. I'm gonna leave it for about 5 hours. All right, guys. So now, for the most important part, well, maybe the second most important. Maybe they equal. I don't know. But let's get into making our actual ramen noodles from scratch. All right. So for our ramen noodles, we're gonna go 1 cup of flour. A little well in the middle. We're gonna do 1/2 teaspoon baking soda. We're also gonna do 1/2 teaspoon of salt. In the middle of that, we're gonna add an egg yolk. We're gonna add a little bit of water to this. You can add your water a little bit at a time. We're gonna use about 1/2 cup. So now I have my little water well. I'm gonna take my fork, just try to break my egg yolk up some, and I'm gonna try to keep this in the middle of my well. Just add flour. Go. It's not gonna be perfect, guys. Just take your time. You should be able to do it. Typically, you would use bread flour for this, but I have all-purpose flour, so that should work just as well. The baking soda is actually going to help give your noodle that pop, that springiness that you normally find in ramen noodles. Woo, try to get away, sir. All right, now that liquid is almost completely absorbed, didn't make it too big of a mess. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with it. It's all mixed. So let's knead our dough. We're gonna roll the fork. Fold it over, roll it backwards. Over, forward, it over. And do this for about 2 minutes, guys. Alright, so now we're done kneading our dough. Only thing that's left to do is to wrap it in some saran wrap and to let it sit for 2 hours. So now we're at the 2-hour mark, guys. It's time to go ahead and unravel this dough, cut it up, and get it ready for our ramen. Make a little cornstarch on our counter. If you feel like it's starting to get a little tacky, just roll some more cornstarch on top of it. Flip it over. Just keep on rolling it out. So this is how my dough turned out. And it's nice and thin. And we're just gonna take it. We're gonna just fold it over itself. So just kind of eyeball it here. Just So we're just gonna fold it right on over. Fold it right on over. And so now we're just gonna take a pastry cutter, right? We use our hand. I'm just gonna cut it and move it. Try to keep it as straight as possible. All right, now that that's done, sprinkle a little bit more cornstarch on your noodles and just kind of give them a little massage. We don't want these to stick together. These are a little bit thicker than I would like, but hey, not bad for a first attempt. So now that we've done that part and we got our noodles all set up, we're gonna go ahead and let these dry out a little bit with this noodle dryer that I have. And I'll show it to you guys in a minute. This is my pasta dryer. I actually picked this up from Amazon, and it's really simple. You just take the arm, pull it out, push it in. You do that for all the arms. And these are gonna actually be your racks. This pasta is gonna be drying on. And with the legs, you just take it and you just simply pull it through. Pull it all the way through. This one don't want to cooperate for some reason. Oh, there we go. All right. And that's it. That's your pasta drying rack. So you just take your pasta. I'm actually gonna get some cutting on it. Any flour that falls, I have to keep cleaning my counter. Just take our pasta, drape it on over it. All right, guys, here are our noodles. They're all hung. We hand cut them, so they're not all the same size, but don't worry about that. This is my first time. It may be your first time too, but we're gonna hang these. They say you should hang them for about 12 to 24 hours. You know, but these are ramen noodles, so you can typically, after you do this, you can hang them for about 30 minutes. Or even just let them rest, or the gluten rest for about 30 minutes. And you could cook them for maybe about a minute or two in the pot. I want my noodles to be a little drier because they say the drier that they are, the more that they'll soak up your broth. So I'm going to let these sit for maybe about 3 hours. And then we're going to come back and assemble our soup. All right, guys, let's work on our main protein for our dish. As you know, we have chicken, we have pork with the bone in it. I think they're pork chops type of cut. That's in our broth. So let's talk about our protein that we're actually going to top our ramen with. We're going to use some pork belly. If you can't find pork belly, go ahead and get some salted pork. You're just going to have to soak it for a couple of days to get some of the salt flavor out, or the majority of it anyway. And so put some olive oil in our pan. And what I actually have here is actually salted pork. Couldn't find pork belly at my local store. So I soaked this for 3 days, changing the water every so often, about every 3 or 4 hours. And so anyway, we just put our pork belly in our pan. All right, guys, so what I've done, I went ahead and poured off the fat that we rendered from this salted pork. Pork belly would be ideal here. I have worked with pork belly, and pork belly is a much thicker cut. So just make sure that you monitor your protein when you're cooking it, because this will stiffen up on you much quicker. So just go ahead and take your time and watch that. But what I've done is I pulled off the fat that we rendered from the pork belly. And in the pan now, what you see is half a cup of soy sauce, half a cup of white cooking wine, some about a tablespoon of sugar, and some ground up ginger I put in here. And we're going to go ahead and put a lid on this, and we're going to turn our heat down low. And we're going to just let this simmer, let this sauce thicken up, and that's going to finish cooking our pork belly. All right, guys, now it's time to cook our noodles. They're fairly dry. We got a rolling boil. I'm just going to add some a little bit at a time. And these really shouldn't take long at all to cook. All right, guys, let's plate this bad boy up. This is some Japanese nori. I'm going to grab a little bit of sesame seed oil. I'm going to add some of our broth. This broth has actually been crock pot for 10 hours. Some of that up in there. We're gonna go ahead and bring in our noodles. I don't know if you can really call these ramen noodles, but they big head noodles, okay? Add in some more broth. After that, we're gonna put our pork belly on here. All right, guys, now check this out. This is a ramen egg. I've been soaking this for 2 days. It should be gooey on the inside. The skin should be firm, which it is. Let's cut that bad boy open. Oh my goodness. There we go. See it? It's our ramen egg. All right, guys, to God be the glory. He brought us here together again to enjoy another meal. Without further ado, it's time for the big reveal. In 3, 2, 1. All right, guys, here it is. Big head ramen. We got our ramen eggs. We got our pork belly. We got our nuri and our hand-cut ramen noodles. Time for the taste test. Let me get some of these noodles. The broth is nice and flavorful. You can taste the pork in it. You can taste the seafood broth. That's really good. It's a really balanced flavor. Let's try it with some of this pork belly. Now I'm gonna be honest. The salted pork belly is a little salty. Not too bad though. Not too bad because the broth is really mild. And when you get it all together, it's just a great complex flavor. It's really delicious, guys. You guys really have to try this. So we get one more bite. That ramen egg has a really unique flavor, but it all works together. So listen, if you guys enjoy what I do, if you like this recipe, please like, comment, and subscribe. You know what to do. Get down in the kitchen.